Alright, I'm going to be doing an install video soon on the Burger Tuning Motorsports heat exchanger. I just got it in the shipped to me today. I'm going to be installing that in my car. Maybe tonight. I'm going to be really busy for the next 2 months. So if I don't get it installed tonight or tomorrow, then it's going to be maybe December, January time frame. So, but I'm going to do a quick unboxing because I'm real big on shipping and how it's packed to protect it, because obviously it's got a nice big ding right here. Hopefully that didn't go all the way through, because from what I've seen, they just put it in some peanuts and let it sit there, which is not cool with me. But I couldn't put any instructions and tell them to put a flat sheet of paper or cardboard on top and the bottom of the heat exchanger so that the little fins didn't actually just ride on material and get crunched or misaligned or smashed. Now that's gone. This is my Spyderco Shaman. Cut open the box. Make sure I don't cut into the heat exchanger laying there. Easy to always cut down too deep into the box and get across what what's being shipped in the container. Well, this time it looks like, if I'm seeing things, that they packaged it right this time. I've seen Boost Emotions or whatever the guy's name is, him get this unit, and it was just packed in peanuts and totally just set on top of that, and that was totally unacceptable. So this looks like this has actually been shipped a lot better, and it should be in nice shape. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it's nice. It comes with some hoses. His didn't come with any hoses. Can't remember his name now. Alright, yeah, that YouTuber's name is Boost in Motion. Yeah, I follow him, and yeah, that YouTuber's name is Boost in Motion. I follow him on YouTube and just listen to some of the things he has to say and some of the things he does and some of the things he gets. But this one came with a hose of some sort, but I don't know exactly. I think the hose on the actual cars will be a lot bigger, larger. So I don't know what hose that is, but we'll find out. Oh yeah, this is packaged 1,000 times better than the one that he got. Like I said, it was packaged in the box, and it just had peanuts in there, and it was laying in the center of that, and he had to dig it out. This one comes with all my necessary hardware, and this is actually really pretty cool. Let's see here. Oh my God, this thing is heavy. That is probably, it does have some little mush marks or where something hit right there. I don't know if I just get my camera up closer. I can probably straighten those out. Let me get the camera focused a little closer. I don't know if I can see that on camera. Oops. Let's see without kicking the tripod. Right there where my thumb is. Let's see here. God, this thing weighs probably 30 pounds. Believe me, it's a pretty big, pretty heavy, even hard to hold out in front of me. And you can see right here in this area, I don't know if you can see that. It's got some weird. Right in that area right there. But golly, that thing may be 40 pounds. Whew. It's a big chunk of metal. Holy cow, that's heavy. But yeah, that's kind of, that shouldn't be shipped out with a little error like that. I mean, it is what it is. This one was a lot less money than the AMS. This was $299, and they have the two versions. And I'll point out, I mean, I couldn't find anywhere. I finally had to send an email to this company, and they got back to me a day and a half later, and I asked them what the difference between the $399 version and the $299 version. And here's the scoop on that. The $299 is made overseas, and the $399 version is made in the US. Now, did the parts come from overseas? You know, it's likely the center portion is made overseas, and then what the end tanks were made in the United States. These are, you know, more squared off, more, you know, maybe stamped, or, you know, and the USA one looks maybe more like it was, the end tanks were forged, or maybe they were stamped, and these are just cast. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say, that these are just cast end tanks put on this unit. I should be able to go in with a little tool and flatten those out and make that a little better. Something happened right in this little area, but they went in and you can see the little straight veins have been skewed and crimped and kind of smushed a little bit. I'm a perfectionist, so some people that may not bother. Me, you know, if something's going to get damaged on something, I'd rather, you know, if it's caused by me, then that's, you know, that's on me. But when it comes brand new, it needs to be in perfect condition. I don't know, you know, if that's going to affect airflow or what. I kind of look through there. I don't know. Maybe, you know, I'm just a perfectionist, but man, that's a lot heavier than what I was expecting. Man, that is, you threw that at someone, you kill them. But yeah, it's got the Boost Burger Tuning, Burger Motorsports emblem right there. See, that's a cap. But I am pleasantly surprised that it's packed in a custom fit styrofoam, so that it wasn't rattling around. It'd probably be a lot more damaged if it wasn't. So, but I'm going to get that installed on the car, and then I bought the supporting materials. I put this down. I didn't chintz out and buy the other brand, or I got the Nissan Extended Life 50/50 pre-diluted antifreeze, the blue, that is recommended, or highly recommended, because there's specifics in this fluid that Nissan requires, and I don't want anything to go wrong and cause any damage and have to try to file some warranty and take this off or be worried about it. So these were from Amazon. I'll provide a link. They were $50, and I got a quote from the really badass store right up the street from me that tunes pretty much every GTR in the city of Dallas, and they quoted me, let me see, $450 for the install of the installing. That would have been the AMS heat exchanger. So $450 to install that, and $50 for two gallons, and then I got these for 50. So they weren't charging me any more than what I bought these for on Amazon. I've got a Prime membership right now, so everything, I'm buying a whole bunch of stuff and it's just coming to me free shipping next day. And yeah, these came next day. So the blue Infinity Extended Life Antifreeze coolant's going to go in there. Then the next thing I purchased, I think I got this on Amazon too. And this is this is how I'm going to bleed the system. You got to do, I don't know if it's new school, old school, but man, you got to do things right. And the bleeding the system is probably one of the key things to do. Because if you get air bubbles, I've done a lot of research, because this is a pretty big undertaking. I've installed other front-mounted intercoolers on cars and taken the whole front of the car apart, and but this is kind of just a step up from that, because this has the air to water cooling system on it. So the pumps, from what I understand, the pumps are a certain pump that will not flow the system. It can't flow air. So when exchanging these two, you're going to get some air pockets in there. And so when the car runs and the pumps are cycling through those air pockets, once it hits an air pocket, the pump can't continue to pump the coolant through the system, and it'll just sit there and it'll just spin. And then the fluid is actually a lubricant for the pump. So when the pump just spins in the air, it will overheat and it'll burn itself out. And I don't know how much a new pump is on the 3.0 T VR30 motor. I know it's probably not cheap. Probably, I don't even want to estimate. And then the install on that, repair. So I just went ahead and got this version. There was like $130 one, and there were some that were cheaper, but I looked at this unit. This is an OEM Tools AirVac coolant refiller, and it's hard to see pictures, kind of online, but I'm really, really happy with this unit right here. I ordered the one that had five fittings. Probably didn't need them, but right when I didn't order and get these 5, and I just ordered the one with 3, then I would have been the one that I needed, and that's always how it works out. So I paid $5 or $6 more and got all these variations of different that'll help seal this unit into the overflow bottle for the coolant on the heat exchanger. So came with those things. These are high quality rubber. This doesn't seem to be a Chinese made, and it is really, really high end. I mean, you can tell this is all aluminum and heavy duty parts, and attachments that are metal that can't be removed, and the valves are all metal. These are fiberglass. This system is going to help me to refill that fluid and bleed the system and get all the air out of the system. This is going to sit in the reservoir tank on the left. There's one on the right, and that's for the radiator. This one is on the left. Once you remove your little black cover with all the little pins that you got to remove, and then you're going to put that in there and tighten that down depending on which one fits. I'll figure that out. And then this has some instructions online and tells you which valves need to be open, and you're going to need a compressor. And thankfully I have a compressor, and this is going to plug in. You see, this plugs in right here, and then the compressor plugs in here, and this spins around, and that's going to drain the air and a little bit of the coolant that's in there as it's spinning this out and sucking and drawing a vacuum. And then this one here, once the vacuum is reached on the gauge here in about -25, and then you're going to close everything off, and then this is going to go into your coolant container. And then another key important thing was to elevate the coolant container every video, I mean, there's only maybe 2 videos online that show this process out of months of searching this. The car's coolant system is probably a little lower than this table, and everyone else has their coolant all the way on the ground, where you're going to want to raise that coolant bottle up to the same level as the radiator, and this level sits right here, and get it closer up to the level top of the engine, and that's going to help to feed that. So this is a filter. This goes in your bucket, and as you open this valve and it releases that negative pressure, it's going to suck that fluid back in. So I've never used one of these. I think I've got the process down. I think I'm going to be able to accomplish everything. You know, it's either going to be a wonderful experience or it's going to be a nightmare experience, but it shouldn't be. It should go smoothly. So you gotta buy one of these systems. I mean, I feel sorry for the people that are doing it otherwise and just filling up the system by hand and then going and driving it. And then I've heard, you know, a couple of people that have done this, that they've reported that a lot of people have had problems with bleeding the system, where they didn't bleed the system and they damaged the pump. So, or if you have a Red Sport pumps, 2 pumps. So yeah, that's everything. I think this is really cool, and this unit is really nice. And I think I paid $76 for it, and I bought this on Amazon. I bought everything on Amazon, and I, you know, really have a good experience with Amazon. So I got the coolant, I got the filler tool, and I didn't get the heat exchanger on there, but I ordered that directly from Berger Motorsports. But everything looks like it, you know, like it should, and I'm happy. And so I'll get it put on again, and maybe tonight or tomorrow, or it's going to be a delay into maybe January or Christmas time. Thanks for tuning in, and if you found this video informative or helpful, or you just gained a little bit more information, you know, give me a like or subscribe, as as I purchased my car new about 3 months ago, I'm going to be getting into some more videos. And then once in preparation of putting this heat exchanger on, I likely will be getting tuned. And the tuning shop here told me that it was a must to have the larger heat exchanger. And the car just won't run right. And when they're doing the dyno pools on their state-of-the-art dyno, 4-wheel drive dyno for GTRs and different things, it'll just end up being problems, and they won't get to run it as much, and they'll have to let it cool down to get pure, you know, exact, accurate horsepower numbers. And that way I don't want to stress the engine either, and have it, you know, be having fun with it and have it go down into shutdown mode because it's overheating or problems like that. So yeah, I think it's super important to get a heat exchanger, as most of the other 2 or 3 guys online that are you know, pushing the Infiniti Q50, Q60, they'll say that it's almost a must. And I live in Texas, so right now it's, you know, in the 30s, and then a few weeks before, or maybe a few days before, it was in the 30s, it was in the 80s. And then we get up to 100 to 107 with crazy humidity, 80% humidity, and it's just awful. So this is going to be a benefit, even if I did not get tuned. This will be a huge benefit to help the car run cooler and keep the performance running like it was designed to longer. So with that said, thanks for tuning in.